Today we asked the question, what if I had to play a Draft League match with the worst Draft League team ever drafted? What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're here with another episode of the Malamar Games. This week, the theme is Random Pokemon Generator. Now, you may be asking, what does that mean? Let me explain it to you. So, the first thing that you have to know is that every person has been assigned a team of 12 Pokemon that they must build a team around. Now, only use those 12 Pokemon with a little bit of a twist. Let's jump over to the teams here that were selected, and I'll go over my team first. So as you can see, right here is my team of 12 Pokemon. I got fairly lucky with no duplicates or repeats, but you can kind of see what we're working with. We'll scroll up just a little bit to check out my opponent, Dixon, their team here. As you can see, they have both an Applin and an Applin. So what that means is that they can use two different Pokemon if they evolve separately. So lucky for her, it is an Applin that could be maybe a Flapple or an Appleton. So they can use both of those, but they cannot use two Applins, if that makes sense. The species clause is still in effect. And the way it works is that you can use any Pokemon in the evolutionary line of the Pokemon that got selected for you. So you see this Bagon here, that could be a Salamence. You see the Igglybuff, that could be a Jigglypuff, a Wigglytuff. The Nincada could be Shedinja, could be possibly, Ninjask. And so it kind of works in that style here. An Electabuzz if they wanted to go maybe an Eviolite route, same with the Magmortar and the Magmar. And so starting into breaking down the teams here, this is the first thing I started with, was kind of evaluating their team. Now, I noticed that, one, they don't have great speed control outside of maybe Max Strike or Max Airstream, and so I noticed that first, but they do have a couple Pokemon that kind of thrive in Trick Room, something like the Caracosta or the evolved form of the Clavipus, or even the Appleton, perhaps. They all kind of like Trick Room. But, unfortunately, they don't have a Trick Room setter. And so that was the first thing I noticed. No Tailwind, there's no Prankster Tailwind, no Trick Room to set up. So the speed controls, they're going to have to get pretty creative. And so if you scroll down here to my team, you see that I got fairly lucky with some of my picks. Some standard Pokemon like a Salamence we've seen before. Even Inteleon, that's something that we've seen even in the earlier Sword and Shield metas. Now we are playing Series 9 technically, so you can max, but there are no restrictions on, okay, so just because you didn't get a Series 9 Pokemon, yada yada. But I want to jump back over to my team here, which I gave you a sneak peek of a second ago, and I'm going to run through a couple of sets before we jump into the battle. So my first starting point, I saw Klinklang. I never really used Klinklang for obvious reasons. It's not a very popular Pokemon in VGC, but I know that it does get Clear Body as its ability. And so I started out, well, this could kind of be somewhat of a budget Metagross with a weakness policy. But the cool thing about Klinklang is that it's decently fast with a base 90 speed stat. And so there are a lot of things it can outspeed. And so what I've EV'd it to do is to outspeed everything on my opponent's team at -1. So when they're at -1, I will outspeed it, with the exception of Ninjask. I'm not going to be able to outspeed that. That's the fastest Pokemon on either team by far. Until I get some speed drops on it, potentially. And so you see that there. The reason being is because I have the Bulldoze proc on the Salamence. And so, going down through the set here, I just hit an Adamant Breakpoint and gave it Giga Impact, Gear Grind, Wild Charge, good coverage, good stab and Gear Grind, and speed control in Giga Impact in case there's a flying type or something protects when I Bulldoze with the Salamence to help drop that speed even more, because I am counting on that -1 speed stat. And then the second half of that combo is the Salamence. I went with a special Salamence, Timid. That base 100, they also have a Salamence, so I knew I want to at least speed tie, give myself a chance if we get down to a Salamence on Salamence endgame. And I went with a special set, good coverage all around essentially, with Draco, Heat Wave, Air Slash, and then obviously we have the Bulldoze to proc the policy, and I decided to go with Assault Vest just to let it stick around, help it cycle in and out, and get some more Intimidates off potentially. And I want to jump over here to the Alolan Exeggutor. This is something I've never used before, but a couple of friends of mine in the VGC community have, and they're really big into it. And when talking with them, Exeggutor's big thing is, one, being able to set Trick Room, being really bulky, but the Harvest ability can really be really obnoxious for your opponent to kind of take care of it, because it can continually regenerate that berry. And so I've given it a ton of special defense investment and HP investment and just bulk in general. And then I hit just a quiet breakpoint with a special attack boost, boosting nature. So you can see Trick Room, another Draco Meteor Mon, just to really nuke one Pokemon, and then Ancient Power for good, rock coverage, and Giga Drain for that stab, and to just give it more regeneration over something like the Energy Ball. And so this is going to be the first half of the Trick Room sort of mode I have going on here. The second half of that is this Machamp you see down here, and I went Flame Orb and Guts. That's a pretty standard Machamp set if you're going to run it. It doesn't get a lot of action because there are usually better Trick Room options, but in a theme like this is what I got. This is what I'm working with. So I went with just a pretty normal move set. Close Combat, Darkest Lariat to avoid any defense boosts or things like that could get in the way, and just to give some consistent ninja coverage, because Rock Slide can miss and I don't want to play that game. So we went with Rock Slide as well to give good rock coverage, because this could be a max Pokemon as well once you get that Flame Orb Guts boost. And so then into the last two Pokemon here, I have Inteleon. So once again, Inteleon, aside from the potential Ninjask on their team, Inteleon speed ties or outspeeds naturally everything on their team with the 120 base speed stat. And so I knew that, so that's why I went with Timid, and like, okay, I'm gonna at least, this is my consistent way to outspeed everything, except I believe the Sceptile can speed tie with it. And so a very common way to run Inteleon once it got its hidden ability was with the Scope Lens and Focus Energy, just to guarantee to get those crits so that you're doing massive damage with the Sniper ability. And so that's definitely one way you can go with this. It's a good option to bring kind of as a non-max threat. You can maybe set up that Focus Energy boost while your opponent's not expecting it, depending on the board state, and then go for just massive damage with the good coverage and Snipe Shot, Dark Pulse, and Ice Beam. But the other option with the Inteleon is that it can be a max threat as well, and the reason being is it can set up max Hailstorm quicker than pretty much anything else on the team, and that will then allow Arctozolt down here to get its Slush Rush activated. Now with Arctozolt, it's naturally a pretty slow Pokemon until you get it the Slush Rush, so it can, in theory, operate in Trick Room, but I did give it the jolly max speed nature, so it's going to still outspeed a lot of things that aren't necessarily fully invested in speed, whether it has the Slush Rush or not. So with that being said, it's a pretty standard Arctozolt set. I know Arctozolt got a little bit of play in some of the earlier formats of Sword and Shield, but Stomping Tantrum for ground coverage, because I didn't have anywhere else on the team except for of course the Bulldoze on Salamence, and then gave it its two best stabs and Protect. It's probably not going to max very often. We'll see what happens. I'm recording this before our match, so there's potential for it to set up its own hail, but I think given that its typing is not very good defensively, it's going to want to be hitting fast and before anything can touch it, or else it's not really going to stick around very long, especially since I didn't give it any bulk investment. But that's all I got. We're going to cut to the battle and jump right into that with my opponent. So, see you there. All right, jumping in here to the battle. Taking a look at my opponent's team. I see some semblance of some things that could be annoying in Trick Room with the Graplocked and the Appleton. They do have the Salamence as well as the Shit Ninja, so I do need to be careful with the Shit Ninja. Let's see here. I think for this first game, I think we go the Kling Klang Salamence route with, let's see, Inteleon does pretty well here with the ice coverage and just being fast. And so we have something to hit the Shninja with Salamence. Let's also bring Machamp, just to make sure, with the Darkest Lariat. Am I forgetting anything here? What are some threats I'm not taking into account? You know, I didn't check Appleton's learn set, but I don't think it can learn Trick Room. If it can, I'm in for a surprise and probably in trouble for this first game, but well, let's just see. Let's jump into it and see what we got going on. All right, good luck. Have fun to Catherine. Let's see what we got. All right, the lead. Electivire Blaziken. Interesting. So I could see the Blaziken going for a simple Protect here. It'd be interesting if one of them has a weakness policy and I activate it for them as well. Luckily, I will outspeed them. So I think we go Max Strike, just in case they protect with the Blaziken and try to get the speed boost. That way that will still hit through that. Make sure I targeted the right one. Yeah, Electivire. And we'll hit... yeah, we'll go Bulldoze. I think we have the element of surprise possibly on our side, but you know, so do they. I don't really know what to expect with this lead from them, but let's go with this. That's what we planned. Okay, switch out for the Blaziken. Not what we planned. Into the Salamence. Alright, so they're not going to get the Intimidate. Oh, it's not Intimidate, it's Moxie. Good to know. Very good to know. I will lower its speed now, so that's good. Now, if this is... let's see, if this is a weakness policy Electivire and they max, this could be bad, but +2. Okay, no max. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of damage into the Electivire. Get our policy set off here. Lowers the speed. And the Max Strike should cleanly take it out from that range. Very good. And now we've also lowered the speed of the Salamence, which is big for us. Big, big, big deal. I do need to be careful, though. I mean, that was a very easy switch in into Shninja. But they didn't, so I'm wondering if maybe they don't have it in the back, and it turns out they do not. Alright, Graplocked. That's just pure fighting, right? Everyone thinks it should be water, and it's not. Pure fighting. Alright, that's got Topsy-Turvy. And to be honest, that's the only thing I know about it. So, let's see. It could very well switch up our boosts here. That could be bad, so I think I need to go for the Steel Spike. And I wonder if it's sashed. I'm gonna Air Slash it just to be safe. Who knows, maybe the Air Slash does enough if it's not very bulky. Okay, they're gonna max. Oh man. If they max the Salamence and target my Salamence with it and get some Moxie boost, this could get out of hand quickly. I might have messed up, folks. It's alright. All is good. All is good. Let's see. Alright, Air Slash coming out. Not gonna be enough, but... oh, got a berry. Okay, well, I might have messed up my targeting there. A Draco into the Salamence would have been nice, but this will at least increase our defenses. Hopefully, oh, fingers crossed, we can live a Salamence attack. I don't think so, folks. Either way, I think we're in a good spot. Oh, it goes for the Rock Fall. It didn't go for a Dragon type attack. Oh, and the Salamence lives on 2 HP. It will go down to the Sandstorm, but that does critically avoid giving Salamence a Moxie boost, which is a big deal. Alright, from this point, I think we just go... Yeah, let's see, what do they have in the back? Blaziken. Yeah, I think we go Inteleon here. We don't have the speed advantage anymore with the Klinklang, so it is at risk. But I do have a defense boost, which I can only imagine is going to help both of these, against both of these Pokemon. So I think here, now let's Max Strike the Blaziken and Ice Beam the Salamence. That should... Maybe if it's Assault Vest, it doesn't take out the Salamence, but yep, the Protecting the Blaziken, give the speed boost. Okay, alright, so I don't think it's, ooh, crit. I don't know, that might have mattered. If it's AV, that might have mattered, folks. I don't know, no way to tell. But that's why you play the set that I'm running with the Inteleon. You're gonna get crits more often than not. Excuse me, does a good chunk through the Protect, and now at this point, even with that speed boost, it may get, we should be good to go. I actually don't know if I've ever seen the Snipe Shot animation, so I think I'm going to go for that just to see it, plus it's probably our best option. Let's not reveal the Wild Charge, so we'll go for Gear Grind. That's pretty standard stuff for Klinklang, I think. And we'll go Snipe Shot. But either way, this was a good first game. It's a pretty cool animation. Now we gotta figure out, okay, how is my opponent gonna adjust to beat that lead now that I've revealed that it is a Bulldoze weakness policy. So let's figure that out. Alright, here. So, going into this next one, I think one adjustment they could make, based on what I revealed, is the Shedinja. They know the Salamence can hit it, but that's the only thing they know that can hit it at this point. They didn't reveal Dark Pulse, and they didn't even see the Machamp. So, I think, since we have a game to work with, and I'm kind of worried about the Graplocked, we avoid the weakness policy strat and try the other mode. I don't think, unfortunately for our boy Eggy here, I don't think Trick Room is the way to go at all. So we'll go, let's go Inteleon Arctozolt. I think Intimidate is still good to have, and it has really good coverage. And we saw how much Bulldoze did. I think we go Salamence, and I think we do also bring Machamp again, because I have a natural fear of Shedinja in all of my matches. So let's think it through here a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think Eggy comes. Without the weakness policy proc and maxing the Klinklang, I don't think Klinklang is the move. So let's just do Machamp and see what we got going on. I wonder what kind of adjustments they're going to make, or maybe not, maybe they go with the same lead and try to anticipate me changing it up as well. They have a lot of other modes they could go with. I could see maybe leading the Graplocked here to kind of dissuade me. Okay, but they have the Blaziken and Appleton. Okay. When I see Appleton, I think of two sets. You could max with a weakness policy, or you could go like a Leech Seed, Body Press type stalling out. But if they're leading it, that makes me think it's not that. So I think what I want to do is max Hailstorm with the Appleton, or into the Appleton, I should say. And then we'll go, I think, let's see. I think Blaziken either protects or switches out this turn, so I think we can just go with Bolt Beak into it, just to cover for a switch out. I think that's our safest option. no switch. Okay. So we'll see, probably a protect, or maybe they just think, you know what, I need to get damage onto this Arctozolt, which could very well be the case. Now, what could happen here is if they max the Appleton and max guard, I'm kind of in trouble. And so I'm hoping to not see that. Alright, good. That's a good start. We will get the... I mean, this should KO the Appleton. It's ×4 effective. Unless maybe it's sashed, but... Oh my goodness. Wow. That is... Maybe it's AV, but that is an incredibly bulky Appleton. I did not expect that. Maybe a body press comes out. Okay, substitute. Unfortunate for them that they are not able to get the substitute off. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Leftovers. Leftover substitute, maybe Leech Seed set. That's a pretty passive first turn for them, but I see what they were setting up for. Unfortunately, with the Slush Rush, I think we probably still outspeed at +1. It's base 80 speed. To be honest, I don't know my Blaziken speed tiers into my Arctozolt Slush Rush speed mechanisms very well. But let's go with Max Darkness just to cover for maybe a Shedinja switch in. And here I think we do go I think we go Stomping. If they switch it out, they're not getting anything off with it that turn. I think we have a good enough advantage that we can handle it. Alright, good. Yes, with the Slush Rush, we still outspeed. And oh man, we are missing KOs by narrow margins, folks. Oh, Baton Pass. Let's see, what's getting the +1 speed here? That's something I should expect as, I guess, a somewhat normal option for the Blaziken. But I also honestly thought that Stomping Tantrum would KO. Alright, well there's the Shedinja. I Max Darkness into the wrong slot. Alright, so now we gotta play the Ally Switch Mind games. Unless... Oh wait, they might have messed up it if it's... Okay, yeah, it is. It does appear to be safety goggles. So maybe... I don't think we've seen where the sash is yet, if they have one. But I think here... I think the safest option is to Max Darkness to cover for Ally Switch, but also Stomping Tantrum. I think at this point they have to max the Electivire, so even if they don't Ally Switch, they probably live the Stomping Tantrum, and then the Max Darkness may be able to finish them off. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to see. Okay, yeah, there's the max on the Electivire. Oh man, if they max guard, that would be a really good max guard for them. Okay, no max guard. It takes that pretty well. It does. I don't think we pick up with Max Darkness here, folks. Not even close. Oh man. Okay, well my Inteleon's probably gone here. We do lower the special defense. Okay. Flare, yeah, that Arctozolt's toast, brother. But maybe we're okay, because now with the sun set up, I can bring in Salamence and Heat Wave, and that should Will-O-Wisp. And I miss. I don't know how much of a difference that makes because it is special attacking. Yeah, I think I bring in Salamence here and Heat Wave, and barring any misses or anything crazy. I know I said that, I'm speaking it into existence, but barring anything crazy, we should be pretty good. I'm just curious on what the full set on the Shedinja is, because we've seen Will-O-Wisp, My Salamence has disappeared on the screen there. Let's see. We will cover for... I don't think we need to cover for any... Oh, well. Let's do Dark Pulse into the Shedinja slot and Heat Wave. That should cover for Ally Switch either way, because I don't know if Heat Wave picks up the Electivire, but it might with the Sun up. Okay, Protect. Trying to see... I'm sorry, that Salamence disappearing is just really funny to me. Alright, Heat Wave. Let's see if we pick it up. We do not. Man, that Electivire is bulky. That must be especially bulky. See, I don't know much about Electivire. I don't know its stat spread. Should have done more research. I know it gets the motor drive, but without a discharge Pokemon to activate it, it's kind of hard. But here, we still have a 100% accurate way to hit the Shedinja, and so I think we go for that. 2 green shinies on the field to wrap it up for us. Darkest Lariat, Heat Wave, and that should seal it up, barring a double miss and an Ally Switch. We don't even know if they have Ally Switch, to be fair. What am I saying sealed it up? We still have the Blaziken in the back to deal with. But it's at very, very low health. Okay, it does swap in, so this should KO the Blaziken. Heat Wave. Oh no. What have I done? So I think we're still good, because there is the Darkest Lariat that will get redirected, I hope. Alright, Salamence hangs on. That's gonna probably seal it up for us. I imagine that Darkest Lariat's picks up here. Yep. Now, with just Shedinja and multiple ways to hit it, I think that's going to be wraps for my opponent, but especially given that one of those ways is 100% accurate and I cannot miss it. You see the Flame Orb activate. Gotta get off the cool tech with the Machamp, you know? Alright, we'll go Darkest Lariat and... let's see. Air Slash is slightly more effective, or accurate. So, okay. Alright, the Protect. Let's see what happens. Get a little chip damage. Gotta do what you gotta do. Either hoping for double or even triple Protect with all the chip damage adding up on my side of the field, but I think odds are in my favor here, so we just keep going for the same play. See, Shedinja, what other tricks you got up your sleeve? Okay, no double Protect, that'll do it. The Shedinja, man, Shedinja endgames, guys, always get me. My heart is racing. I dislike Shedinja as a Pokemon, but when you got it, it's a good tool to use. So, GG's to Catherine. I'm going to cut to the post-game thoughts here, and then we'll get out of here. All right, well, there you have it, guys. Another 2-0 win this week. We get a little momentum rolling here in the Malamar Games, and I think, honestly, this team functioned really well for what it had. You know, this is not a team you're going to win a lot of serious official VGC matches with, even in the Series 9 rule set, but I think it is fun. At least I had fun, at least. And it's just got a couple cool tricks up its sleeve. Now, unfortunately for my Executor fans, didn't get to see a lot of action today, but one thing I think maybe we could switch up would be maybe fine-tuning a couple more calcs. I missed a couple KOs that were kind of big that could have swung things for my opponent pretty drastically. Specifically, I think maybe we could have gone for Adamant on Arctozolt and just seen what the speed tiers were there, especially since they didn't bring, the Ninjask or the Sceptile. The real fastest thing on their team, I think, was probably the Blaziken, especially once it gets those speed boosts. So I think I maybe had some more room for hitting a little harder there. But my opponent, Catherine, was kind enough to send me her pace, so I want to kind of dig into that because I think there's some really cool stuff here. So first of all, this is what a Graplock does, if you were wondering. I had no idea. But it has Octolock, which, again, never heard of before. But it traps the opponent and lowers their defenses every turn at the end of the turn. So that's a kind of cool tech that would have really caught me off guard if they were able to get it off. And, Topsy-Turvy is always a threat to weakness policy mons. Luckily, its speed stat just always hinders it so much. But one of the big questions I had was how in the heck did the Appleton live a max Hailstorm from Inteleon? And the secret is, folks, Thick Fat. Thick Fat is the secret. I completely forgot that it got that ability, and that makes sense. It is incredibly defensive. It has maxed out defensive stat there in its EVs, but the special defense stat is still pretty high along with the HP. And so in talking with Catherine, she said that this was really her Ferrothorn counter, which was an option I had. I didn't end up bringing it, so I kind of got lucky there as well. And another thing to point out, I was kind of curious how the Electivire was taking hits so well, especially after seeing the damage it took from Bulldoze. And the reason is because it is Assault Vest. That's where the Assault Vest was. I was originally thinking maybe it's on Appleton, but then I saw the leftovers, and so it is on the Electivire. That's why I was taking my special attacking moves so well, with just a lot of different coverage on that. And they did say they switched coaching to the Baton Pass that we saw come out there at the end. But overall, this is a really cool team. I think they just really got the short end of the stick when it comes to the random Pokemon generator. They didn't have a lot of good speed control, and they didn't have a lot of type coverage they had 2 Applins, for goodness sake. There's not a lot you can do with that. But to their credit, I think they made a really cool team out of it, and given what they had, this is awesome. And unlucky for them, I was way luckier than I should have been with the things that I got to be able to complete this team here. But it was cool. Awesome game nonetheless. I will be linking both of these pastes if you wanted to look at them without me clicking back and forth and me moving the mouse or hearing my voice over it in the description below, as well as Catherine's Twitter. It'll be linked down there as well. So check that out. Give them a follow. They're really cool. Lots of positive energy. I definitely follow them on Twitter as well. And so, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. On to the next one in the Malamar Games. We'll see you back here next time. Peace.